They thought they found an easy target, a quiet farm run by a single mother, miles from town. What they didn't know was that this seemingly ordinary woman had a past far from ordinary. Olivia Carter, a devoted mom to her 8-year-old son, once served as a Green Beret sniper, her skills unmatched and her instincts razor-sharp. After leaving the military, she traded missions for motherhood, hoping for a peaceful life in the countryside. But when a group of outlaws shows up, looking to intimidate and take what isn't theirs, Olivia quickly realizes peace is no longer an option. With her son's safety on the line, she's forced to tap into the very skills she swore she'd leave behind. As tensions rise and the danger closes in, Olivia prepares for a fight no one sees coming except her. What happens when the hunter becomes the hunted? Stay tuned. Olivia's farm was her sanctuary, a place where she could raise her son, Ethan, surrounded by open skies and quiet fields. She had built a life there with her own hands, finding joy in the simple routine of early mornings and hard work. Few in the nearby town knew about her military past. She never talked about it. To them, she was just a hard-working single mom who kept to herself. But trouble started when whispers of a local gang targeting rural properties began spreading. Olivia had noticed unfamiliar trucks passing by her farm more than once, slowing down as if to take a closer look. She tried to brush it off, focusing on keeping Ethan safe and their routine intact. Then, one evening, just as the sun dipped below the horizon, she spotted them. 3 men approaching the house, their intentions as clear as the weapons in their hands. Olivia's instincts kicked in. Olivia's heart raced as she quietly locked the door and pulled Ethan close. The men outside didn't seem in any hurry. They were confident, too confident. She peeked through the curtains, noting their movements. One circled toward the barn, while the others stayed near the porch, talking low and laughing. They had no idea who they were dealing with. Her mind raced through her options. She had an old hunting rifle stashed in the attic, but it wouldn't be enough against 3 armed men. She'd always kept her skills sharp, practicing in the woods when Ethan was at school, but she never thought she'd need them like this. Not here, not now. Ethan tugged at her sleeve, his voice barely a whisper. "Mom, what's going on?" She crouched down, forcing a calm she didn't feel. "It's going to be okay," she said, meeting his wide eyes. "But I need you to trust me." The air felt heavier as the night deepened, the only sounds outside being the crunch of boots on gravel and the occasional low murmur from the men. Olivia moved quickly but silently, guiding Ethan toward a hidden crawl space beneath the pantry floor. It was tight and dark, but it was safe. "Stay here," she whispered, tucking a flashlight into his hand. "No matter what happens, don't come out until I say it's okay." His small face was pale, but he nodded, trusting her completely. Back in the main room, she secured the rifle from the attic and scanned the space for anything else she could use. Her training came rushing back, every lesson, every tactic. She knew she couldn't wait for them to strike first. The element of surprise was her only advantage. Outside, the barn door creaked open, and Olivia's stomach dropped. They were searching, getting closer. She steadied her breath, gripping the rifle tightly. The time to act was now. As Olivia crept toward the back window, she caught movement near the barn. One of the men had found her tool shed and was rummaging through it. She kept her rifle steady, ready to act, when something unexpected happened. A 4th figure emerged from the shadows. Unlike the others, this one was quiet and deliberate, slipping past the others with practiced ease. This wasn't part of the gang. Whoever they weren't here to help. Olivia's pulse quickened. Was this another threat? Or someone who had their own score to settle? She didn't have time to figure it out. The man near the barn shouted, holding up something he'd found, a pair of tools she'd sharpened for farm work. "Looks like she's been expecting company," he cheered. The others laughed, their voices carrying through the night. But Olivia's focus was on the newcomer. As they edged closer to the house, they glanced briefly at her window, almost as if they knew she was watching. Her mind raced. This was no ordinary robbery. Whatever was happening tonight, it was bigger than she'd thought, and the stakes had just been raised. The men moved closer, their confidence unchecked, while Olivia stayed hidden in the shadows of her home. She knew the layout of her land better than anyone. Every corner, every creak, every weak spot in the floorboards, she had spent years preparing just in case. But the presence of the fourth figure changed everything. Whoever they were, they had military precision in their movements, and Olivia could feel the tension shifting. This was someone trained, someone who wasn't here by accident. As the first man reached her porch, Olivia acted. A warning shot rang out, shattering the night. The men froze, their bravado replaced with uncertainty. "Leave now," Olivia called out, her voice steady but cold. "This is your only chance." They laughed, but it was forced, their confidence shaken. Then the fourth figure stepped into the porch light, raising their hands in mock surrender. "Stand down," they said, their voice calm but commanding. "You don't want to do this." Olivia's grip tightened on her rifle. Recognition hit her like a wave. It was someone from her past, someone she thought she'd never see again. They'd come for her, not the farm. But why? Before she could piece it together, the gang turned on the newcomer, demanding answers. The situation erupted into chaos, and Olivia saw her chance. Using the distraction, she neutralized the immediate threat, her training sharp as ever. As silence fell, Olivia faced the stranger, her weapon still raised. "Why are you here?" she demanded. Their answer was simple but chilling. "They weren't just after your farm. They were sent for you." Olivia kept her rifle steady, her mind racing. The stranger's words echoed in her ears. Asterisk, "They were sent for you," asterisk, her past, the one she had buried so carefully, had caught up with her. "Talk," she ordered, her voice low and unwavering. The stranger, who introduced himself as Logan, revealed the truth. The gang wasn't just targeting isolated farms, they were looking for Olivia specifically. Someone from her military days had sold her out, passing along information about her skills and her quiet life on the farm. The gang had been hired to intimidate her into compliance, to force her to work for a shadowy figure pulling strings from afar. The weight of the revelation hit Olivia hard, but she didn't let it show. "So why are you here?" she asked, narrowing her eyes. Logan hesitated, then admitted he'd been tracking the gang, knowing they were after someone dangerous. "But I didn't expect to find you," he added, a hint of respect in his tone. With the immediate threat neutralized, Olivia wasted no time. She tied up the remaining gang members and called the local authorities, careful to keep Ethan out of sight. By the time the sheriff arrived, Logan was gone, leaving only a cryptic note. Asterisk, "Stay alert. This isn't over," asterisk. As the dust settled and the adrenaline faded, Olivia hugged Ethan tightly, promising herself she'd do whatever it took to protect him. She explained the basics to the sheriff, leaving out her Green Beret past and focusing on the gang's intent to rob her farm. The authorities took the men into custody, but Olivia knew it wasn't the end. That night, as she tucked Ethan into bed, he looked up at her, his voice small. "Mom, are we safe now?" Olivia hesitated, then kissed his forehead. "We are," she said softly, but deep down she knew the fight wasn't over. In the days that followed, Olivia took quiet steps to prepare for whatever might come next. She reinforced the farm's defenses and reconnected with old allies from her past, those she trusted implicitly. Life on the surface returned to normal, but she remained vigilant, always watching, always ready. Because if they came for her again, they wouldn't find a single mother on a quiet farm. They'd find a Green Beret sniper, fully prepared to defend what she loved most.